Hey basketball coaches and players, today I'm going to break down what is a zone defense in basketball. So really quickly, there's a few different types of defenses in basketball, and one of the major types of defenses is the zone defense. The other main type of defense is the man-to-man defense. Now, in a man-to-man, you are guarding one-on-one with one individual player on the other team, while in a zone defense, you're guarding an area of the court and not an individual man. I'm going to get further into that. Let's get down to the clipboard. Let's check out what a zone defense is in basketball. Really quickly, go check out my Unbeatable and Perimeter Basketball Defense books down in the description below. Those strategies in those books will definitely help you win more games. Okay, so this is one of the most popular zone defenses that you're going to see. This is a 3-2 zone defense. In a 3-2 zone defense, you're going to have player 5 and 4, generally speaking, guarding that area of the court. Player 3 is going to be guarding up here. Player 1, is going to be guarding the top, and player 2 is going to be guarding the wing. Now, what does this mean for us? Well, it does mean that any of these overlapping areas on the court in this zone are double team locations. So for example, if an offensive player tried to dribble through those two zones, we would then have player 1 and 2 cut him off and try to force him left or right away from that gap. Now, from there, one of the major weaknesses to this zone defense is when they get the ball into the middle of the key and have players cutting along the baseline. So make sure to watch out for that when your team is running this zone. And if that's the case and you start seeing this, you need to start switching your zone to another zone or to a man-to-man or to a matchup zone. There's so many different types of defenses, but definitely switch it if you start seeing this happen. Next is a 2-3 zone. So we're going to have two players up top, and then we're going to have player 5 in the middle, and player 4 along the wing, and player 3 along the wing. Again, any of these overlapping areas are double team locations, and then on top of that, this defense is also very weak in the high post. So, if a team runs an overload offense, you're going to be having player 5 popping up to the high post and another player popping down towards the low post, and they're going to do a high to low pass. If you start seeing the other team running an offense like this, you need to switch that defense extremely quickly, possibly to my Unbeatable defense in the description below, because in that book, in that strategy, there's a double team without any players open from the free throw line and below. So definitely something to check out if you start seeing this happen against your team. Another very popular zone defense that we see at higher levels of basketball, I know that the Philippines national team uses this one quite a bit, and from there we're going to have what's called a 2-1-2. So if you've been trying to figure out how the number sequence works when it comes to the zone defenses, the first number that you have is the first line of players. So this would be a 2. The next would be a 1, and then the bottom is a 2, which would make this a 2-1-2 defense. If the players were located like this, this would make it a 2-3 zone defense. So that is how the number sequence works when it comes to a zone defense. But right now we are working on a 2-1-2. So the idea behind something like a 2-1-2, which is still popular but a little bit rarer to see at the youth level, is because this middle player, he has a massive zone to cover. So he's actually covering the key all the way up to the point, which is up here, across and back down. Meanwhile, player 4 is covering that area, player 2 is covering this area, we would have player 1 covering this area and player 3 covering here. The idea behind this zone is to try and trick the other team. So this is when you bring up player 5, and now it looks like a 3-2 zone. However, if the ball gets down into the low post with, let's say, a wing player, and now what's going to happen is player 2, let's say, passes into player 5, player 5 would then move down into the low post and player 4 would pop out to cover for blue, and now it looks like a 2-3 zone. So, like I was mentioning before, the 3-2 zone is very easy to beat when you've got a player with the ball in the middle of the key, and a 2-3 zone is very easy to beat with players in the high post with the ball. That is why they have this type of a zone, which in my opinion you could classify it as a hybrid zone, because now you've got a defense that looks like a 3-2 zone, but really a 2-3. I hope that this video has helped you understand what a zone defense is, how it's run, but also some of the weaknesses when it comes to the zone defense. One of the zone defenses, actually I should say two of the zone defenses that have very few weaknesses is the Unbeatable basketball defense and the perimeter basketball defense down in the description below. I hope that this video has helped you. If it has, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.